Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
Thanks, Brioni, and thank you for joining us for episode 101 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast, where Mike and I talk about his coffee roasting class, some news that's been going on inside the coffee industry, mobile coffee, and a ridiculous video that Mike sent me. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Welcome back to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. I am Jake Goebel. Sitting with me here is the Mike Kincaid, and this is episode 101. Of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. A whole show dedicated to coffee and all things.
And some
coffee.
Condiments.
And
some sidebars.
Side conversations.
And some things that make no sense.
Yeah, a lot of things that make no sense. And one of the things that makes no sense
are the segues we use, but we go with it anyway.
Is why we would get messages, emails, requests for our opinion about anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It really, really doesn't. However.
Maybe sometimes it's in an effort to set us up.
Maybe. But it's not about you.
But we love.
And it's not about me.
Love setups.
Instead, this show is about you. You having a better cup of coffee at home. You hanging out with the homies right here, Mike and Jake, on your way to work in the morning. Talking about that sweet nectar of the gods that you love so much, just like we do, coffee. You heading out to go to cafes, which ones to go to.
The library.
The gym, the library, wherever you're going, where you're highly caffeinated. You looking to roast your own coffee. You looking to roast your coffee and sell it online and in person. You looking to build your own coffee shop, your cafe empire. And you're like, wow, these guys are trying, at least making some sort of attempt at trying to build a coffee empire. Maybe I'll tag along and see what mistakes they make and make sure that I don't do those.
Valid.
But so the point I'm trying to make is this show is not about Mike and it is not about me. It is here for you. That means a couple things. One is when we get feedback, we got to listen to it.
Yeah. Once we get over the little cry session I usually have in the...
Right.
Yeah.
Rejection always stings. So I'm thankful for the feedback, but then also there are times
They're right.
where it's hard to do things. Now, I have kind of an outgoing, charismatic personality, and people think, well, it is no problem for him.
He can talk about anything.
He can talk about anything.
For hours.
But that is true. However, it's not entirely true. There are times when I do have feelings of insecurity, doubt, fear. I feel like a failure frequently. Inadequacies, thank you.
That's a good word.
And then we'll get requests to talk about things. And subjects that I don't want to talk about. Stuff that I don't want to talk about that is happening inside the coffee community. Like, hey, were you guys nominated for a Sprudgie Award? No, and I don't want to. I don't care what Sprudge is doing or who they are nominating, and who is not winning that should have won. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe a little bit.
But then also there are some topics that dominate headlines. And that's not normally where I like to spend my time, especially when they're kind of negative topics. But then the question comes, if you're going to talk about it, are you just going to give your opinion, just to have your opinion out there? Or are you going to really try and help people digest it, understand it, learn from it? Becomes a completely different conversation. Like when Blue Bottle was bought for $700 million, and a controlling interest was purchased by Nestle for $700 million.
Something like
we thought that was pretty exciting, and we talked about it. And we talk about a lot of things that are headliners. One of the things that I try to stay away from are things that will, become polarizing. And one of those topics has been 4-barrel coffee in the news recently.
Yep.
And we've got a lot of requests. Hey, what do you think about what's happening at 4-barrel coffee? And my first answer is, well, I read one article. That's all I know. I've never been there. I don't know any of the players. We had listened to a Cat and Cloud podcast previously where one of the artists, I think Kevin Tudball, is that his name? Tudball?
I think you're close.
Kevin,
in the ballpark,
talked about some art that he was doing for 4-barrel coffee years ago. And I said to myself, that is not something that I'm comfortable with or a company that I want to support. And I just kind of tune it out.
Yeah, sure.
And then Chris Deferio, on his great podcast, Keys to the Shop, approached the idea or the concept of power and trust. The discussion of power and trust and abuse in the work environment of a cafe.
Yeah.
Under a great point of view where he provided 6 points for leaders.
Yeah.
To try and, work into their lives,
I think he approached it with the aspect of how can, I provide resources or open the conversation for constructive progression.
Yeah.
Right? Let me give you something to think about.
In light of this.
Like kind of, spurred on by this, not specifics regarding the event.
Yeah.
But just here's some things that I think can help, not just with situations, such as 4-barrel, but beyond that, in the workplace in general.
Your workplace.
And
things
he put
that you can take
power and leadership at the center of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
And he didn't it didn't seem like he was trying to profiteer off of, big media, things that are happening in the media. Like there's clickbait. Right.
Yeah.
Like we could,
opportunist. He wasn't
title this podcast and probably get more clicks and throw a little Facebook ad campaign behind it, give it a racy title, and probably get more people to listen. Or we can just stick to what we're doing, try and continue to provide value and not be clickbaity. And I think Chris did that as well.
Yeah.
So
he did it well.
In my opinion,
your opinion, because that matters.
My opinion, and this is the last time I'm going to say, you've heard me say it before, I think for 2017, Keys to the Shop was the best podcast in coffee out there.
I would agree.
I think they should have won a Spreadsheet if a Spreadsheet is something that, you're interested in winning.
Sure, absolutely.
But they should, Chris and his work should be acknowledged as delivering the most value. So that's how I feel about that. 2017 was the year of the Keys to the Shop, and Chris has continued to serve his community and serve us in coffee as a whole in a very humble, unassuming, passionate, wise way. Graceful.
When I think the key
to the shop.
Boom. The key that takeaway I've picked up listening to his catalog for some time now is that he wants to have a discussion. Even things that he brings when he has other individuals from his shop. I can't remember the name. Sorry. He'll bring other managers and they talk about subjects such as batch brew versus pour over or other things where they have a clear kind of definitive opinion on what's best for them. They also make it clear that, hey, we're open to conversation and we're open to be wrong. Mm-hmm. We're open to say, maybe this isn't good for you. They kind of labor in these areas and just say,
Sunnergas.
That's it. Thank you.
Sunnergas coffee.
Yeah, shout out.
It's a tough name. That's why I have a tough time remembering it. So I looked it up on the Google.
But I think he always brings us into the conversation. And there's times we've commented, and I think, I don't know, I could be wrong in making this assumption that we've seen responses to conversations we've had in responses to previous podcasts they've had. Almost like we've had kind of
back and forth.
What would it be? A passive conversation via podcast.
Via podcasts.
But that's probably putting us too highly.
Yeah, we ain't in that league. But
we'll have conversations about the content that he releases. And then, I don't know, an episode comes out and I'm like, that was pretty good. That's kind of what we were
it's good
thinking
stuff.
about. So anyway, I've appreciated that approach.
Yeah. I appreciate Keys to the Shop, and I appreciate his request for feedback and to continue, like you said, the conversation. And I think that's what we're doing here. That's one of the things we're going to do. We're not going to stop there. We're not going to stop there. So we are going to talk about that. We are going to talk about what I consider to be trust and power, in not only because I think it transcends the workplace.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just happened to go through some training for coaching youth. You know what I mean? Same problem, same discussions, It is. Same problems, probably to a greater degree.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about this ridiculous video that you sent me via the Messenger app and Facebook that was an Instagram video of dipping and swirling on cups. We're going to talk about that.
Nice.
And then
you never replied.
It's because I was throwing up. That's why it was like,
no. Come on.
Okay. So we're going to talk about that.
It's good.
And then we are going to talk about mobile coffee, the future of coffee. I know you've heard me talk about it before.
As you're outlining the agenda in your mind, good pre-planning. I would like to discuss my recent.
I don't want to hear anything about you.
I know, but maybe they do.
No.
I had the opportunity to attend the online virtual class.
You know what? I thought you were going to deliver zero value today.
I know,
which you normally do, but you totally redeemed yourself.
I know. I got an ace this time. Only cost me $99.
You've got an ace in the hole. Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
An opportunity to attend the I Map It Forward class, the beginner coffee roasting basics with Scott Rayo.
Yeah.
That was hosted this last weekend.
So Chris had 6 points that he brought up, and I'm not going to go over them again here. I'm just going to direct you to the Keys to the Shop episode. Do we have points, or are we just winging this as far as like we're going to talk about sexual harassment, trust and power, abuse, sin? Or are we just going to wing it? I don't want to get too far off topic here. Like I want to give something positive.
Should I set a timer?
Should we do 5 minutes?
Well, here's the thing. I think...
Okay, say what you want to say, and then I'll say what I want to say.
No. I want to just set... I don't think we... I agree with you, Jake. I think we could speak to the principles and the underlying issue.
That's it.
Talking about the details of an ongoing, pending court case is
never been there. Never. I don't know any of the people. I don't know any of the players. I've read one article. That's it.
And exactly,
it's
basing everything off of somebody else's research, it just isn't.
I've had articles written about me, and
yes, you have.
I would appreciate if people didn't come to conclusions based off one article.
Sure.
However,
they were spot on. No, wait.
There's always a greater context.
Absolutely.
And I think we did do a little bit of homework to try and paint a context of a culture that is unacceptable in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about that culture, whether all of it applies to the specific case with 4-barrel or not. I don't know, and I don't want to speculate.
That's for the court to decide.
Don't want to speculate.
That's for the court to decide. And that's why we have these courts and laws.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's a civil suit, not a criminal suit.
But still,
it's a civil suit.
There's going to be a judge over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I mean.
All right. Say what you won't say. And we will. So we are 12. We're 13 minutes in right now. We're going to give it. We're going to give it some time. We're going to, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe.
No,
10 minutes.
I have a few thoughts, but you've kind of already hooked me a little bit with this training that you're going through. You said you have a relevant, recent interaction with trust and power.
Yeah.
And
I just want to point out that I totally gave you the floor and you are handing it back.
Yeah, I am, because
that's not a good idea.
No. This is because...
Can you shut me up once I start?
No, I think you need to go on this one.
Okay.
I'm feeling like you've got something that is more valuable than what is coming to my mind at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. For the sake of brevity.
Okay. For the sake of brevity, let's do it. I believe, and I believed with a lot of things of this training. And so I am a youth coach for football, for boxing, for wrestling, for jiu-jitsu, submission grappling, whatever you want to call it. And so I go through these trainings to be certified so that to try and educate you and help you.
I know what I'm doing. Look at this paper.
I know what I'm doing. I've got a piece of paper.
It's on the wall behind me.
Whether that is good or bad, I think it is a step in the right direction. And one of the trainings that I just went through was called Safe Sport, and anybody can do it. I mean, I think it's free. It was free for me as part of a greater membership. But anyhow, they talk about this relationship of trust and power that the players, the employees, the people underneath the coach or the employer, they give their trust to the person in power. And in exchange, there is an exchange that takes place. The person in power has control over things that the people that are giving the trust want, whether that is playing time, whether that is a starting position, whether that is sufficient hours at a job or a location or a job in and of itself. There is an exchange that takes place. You trust me, and you give me, right? You give me the power that I have over you. Because here's the thing. If I do not sign up to play for you, you have no power over me. Right? We can agree to that?
Agreed.
Okay, if I don't come to work for you, you have no power over me. Like if, the manager at Costco came hollering at me that I was doing something wrong, I'd be like, dude, I don't work for you. You got nothing on. Get away from me.
You're not my dad.
You got nothing on me. But as soon as I trust you with a job or a sport or whatever it is, now you have that power over me.
Okay. I've got power. Now what?
You've got power. Now, what are you going to use your power for? For good or for evil? And it really is that
for the
simple.
Bottom line.
It is for good or for evil. You either will act with my best interests in mind, or you will try and use that power for your own selfish gain. This Safe Sport specifically talks about you using the power for your own selfish gain.
Yeah.
And it is frequently, and the large topic of conversation is you using it for your own sexual gain. That is a driving factor for why men pursue power to begin with, is for sexual gain.
Okay.
I think you got to acknowledge that from the get-go. Yeah. There's an actor, I don't want to put his name out there because, calling actors out is difficult these days, but he said this, and when I was going to acting classes and reading books, he said this about acting. He said, well, my goal was to get my acting degree and then go back and teach at community college where I could get girls, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, to come into my acting classes, and I could hook up with as many of them as I could.
Yeah.
That was my goal in acting.
Putting it out there.
He's just very
open about it.
I pursued power so that I could get into, I pursued acting, get in a position of power, so I could have sex with as many girls as I could.
Interesting. Okay.
And he said what ended up happening is I ended up getting an acting career out of it.
Yeah.
I never did become an instructor or a teacher there. I ended up getting roles and having a life and whatever.
Yeah. So
people pursue this for their own selfish gain. They pursue power, whatever it is. Like if the gain is for you, right? Coaches pursue, I want my kid to have, I want to live vicariously through my child. I want him to have the success that I never could, regardless of whether he's good, regardless of whether he's bad, regardless of
power. Yeah.
How do you use your power? Now, the way that or one of the ways is you see the culture that surrounds that power.
Yeah.
If it's sexually driven, it's inappropriate. It's not the right, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why for sports do we have this sexually driven agenda?
Yeah.
If in a coffee shop, why do we have this sexually driven agenda? I want you, the listener, to know that not every job, not every sport, not everything is in your best interest. I think that is one of the learning things, to recognize the keys, recognize the signs.
Yeah.
If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. Read the script. If you are a young lady or a young man and your character is constantly nude or something along those lines, right? Withdraw from it.
Yeah.
Get away from it. If they have secret menus on the item or secret items on the menu that is Dickens cider, say that faster.
Yeah.
that should be a warning sign. And trust your gut. Get away from it. Yeah. Now, if they have, a Valentine's item that says "suck it" on there, and they're promoting that, get away. There is something wrong with that. The challenge becomes trying to decipher that within just an over-sexualized culture.
Yeah.
Like if you go to San Francisco and you attend any number of venues, parades, events in certain neighborhoods, you are going to see a display of, I think, evil that rivals, just about anything on the face of the planet. Sexual, just deviancy and just display.
Have you been to San Francisco?
I have not been.
You've never been?
I've not been.
Yeah.
Have you been? But I have been to West Hollywood, and I've been told to not complain. And I've sat through many training classes and watched videos of San Francisco, spoken with people, and read the tracts and read the magazines and been fully indoctrinated into what's acceptable and unacceptable.
Sure. Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't want to stop you though. You're done with your thought?
In the midst of that, you're being told that it's okay, everything's okay. So then when you show up at a place to work and they've got this menu, you're thinking, I don't want to judge them. It must be okay. Mm-hmm. Don't they have
It's just done in fun and games.
It's just, no.
Marketing. It's just to grab attention, just to make you look twice.
Something is wrong. Remove yourself from it.
What's driving it? What's underlying it?
There is always something that drives it.
Sure.
So protect yourself. Get away from there.
Be aware of the environment.
Be aware of the environment. And we talked about what guidance would you give, your daughter.
Your own, exactly.
I would tell my daughter, trust your gut, get out of there. Get out of there. If I was asked to come interview for a job in a hotel room, if I was asked to audition
it'd be like a third time
job at a hotel room, in someone's private hotel room, don't go. Don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. Something is wrong with that.
It is. And it's sad that we do live in the society where you have to be on guard, that you have to almost take a stance of, you know what, I'm going to assume that because this doesn't seem right, that it's not right. You can't just give, maybe there's a good reason for meeting in the hotel room. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and just go, let my guard down. You can't approach it that way anymore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I don't think
you ever could.
It can go to the root of it, which, we don't have to dwell on, but the root is, are people inherently good or inherently bad? Are there tendencies within each and every one of us that has the potential to express itself in an evil, sinful way? And I think we do. And I think given that tendency and given that sometimes individuals can be weak and even weakened through consumption of alcohol and situations, and to me, certain things within us grow if we feed it. Mm-hmm. And one of those things can be sexual temptation, sexual desire. You create an environment where you're constantly bombarded with it. You're consuming content that promotes it. It's going to come out eventually. It's going to root itself and it's going to turn ugly. And protecting yourself from that and realizing that it's a war. It's a war out there for your well-being, for your very soul at times, and being on guard against that. And so I'm just taking that stance of what would I tell my own girls, as they grow up? How would I tell them to protect themselves? And I think it's sad. It's because you don't also want, because sometimes you're naive to the situation.
Absolutely.
You legitimately don't realize it's as bad as it is.
Yeah.
And so for those around you, sometimes they have better vision. And I think that's one of the things, a role of a parent and a father should help convey to his children, not just the girls.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Say, hey, I can see a little farther than you right now. And let me tell you what's ahead of you, or what to look out for as you enter into this world, and just be aware of it. And, those type of cautions and preemptive strikes, if you will, that raise red flags might make a huge difference when a situation comes up. Hey, let's go have a party. And then back after the party, let's go up to my place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. We do it all the time with the company. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
And I think that you're mentioning alcohol is another thing that came up inside the training. is that parties with alcohol, you should not attend. You should not throw. And if someone is pressuring you to come to a party, a company party, where we're going to get plastered, you should be wary.
Absolutely.
You have been told, wear whatever you want, go wherever you want, do whatever you want, consume whatever you want, where and however you want. And this is the great, we're in America. You can, but you cannot do it without consequences or repercussions. There are people out there who want to take advantage of you.
Yes. Like you said, what interest are they?
Alcohol affects the brains it affects people's brains, the way that they are able to act. What you wear, believe it or not, affects other people's brains.
It sure does.
I'm not saying don't wear it. I'm just saying
be
understand.
Aware. Yeah.
Be aware. You do you. You've heard us say that before. You do you, but I would rather see you protect yourself and show some restraint and self-control, because that's really at the core of this issue is selfishness and self-control.
Yeah.
There are people who will plot, scheme against you and against your children, against your family to get what they want
Personal
at your
gain.
expense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they are all out there until they're right here. Until it's me. That is what the power and leadership comes down to this. I don't believe that power can be given away. Like I listened to Chris in Keys to the Shop. He talks about electricity coming into the house and then feeding everything else. I don't believe that's the case. You are always in control. You are always in power. You can't give up schedule making. You can't give up whether you work here
ultimately,
or not.
it falls back on you, is what you're saying.
On you.
You're the first conduit, if you will.
Who
that
picks
it still
the
comes
starters?
Through. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Who picks playing time? You do. The only question that you will be judged on there is whose interests did you act in?
Yeah.
And to me, that is the mark of a leader. And that is where leadership and management is, I think, where the rubber meets the road. If all you're doing is managing problems at work and not investing in others, I think you're going to have problems, whatever they are.
Yeah.
It might not be directly related, but the core of the issue, the root issue is the same. You do not care more about your employees than you do yourself. You do not care more about the kids that are playing football, basketball, softball, baseball, soccer, whatever. You don't care more about them than you care about yourself. Cultivate that. Cultivate selflessness, caring more about others than yourself.
Yeah.
And you will be better off. You won't have those problems. When you come into power, you will be tempted to use your power for evil. That's the difference, right? If you look at the superhero origin story, real quick, and then I'll let you go touch the camera there. But here's the deal. It's the same power used for good or for evil. Right? If you watch the superhero movies, right? Loki had the power of the Tesseract, and he used it for evil.
Yeah.
Right? So when you get a similar type power, and you use it for good.
Yeah.
We are always the heroes in our own journey, but sometimes we don't realize that we're being a villain in other people's lives.
Yeah.
When we act out of only our own self-interest. That's called selfishness.
Yeah.
And you've been taught not to tell yourself no. And I'm here to tell you.
Don't deny yourself. Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, you've been lied to.
Yes.
Tell yourself no. Okay, that was 15 minutes.
That was good.
That was 15 minutes. I don't know if we helped anybody or if we did anything. I think I've said everything that I'm comfortable in saying. Talking about power, talking about trust.
Yeah. I
talking about self-control.
I think you gave some things to think about. I think when, from a leadership point of view, just a few quick things that you made me think of. It's always good when you have a plurality of leaders. And I say that in the sense that sometimes when you're the lone man at the top, it's easy to kind of be caught up in your own thoughts and your own ways. And when you have trusted advisors or friends or fellow leaders that can help keep each other on track, I think when you have a bond with two or three, it's not easily broken. And when one falls, you can pick them up. Or direct them before they fall, whatever it might be. I think that's key. I think it's realizing that we have those tendencies and we're prone to fall in many different ways. It doesn't have to even be as severe as sexual. It can just be whatever you're prone to do, whether it's dramatic or even little. But when you have people around you that can help you and can help you stay accountable, it's good.
Yeah.
Instead of taking that approach that I have the power, I don't need anybody, I can do it myself, you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to be blindsided by, falling.
Whatever.
You're eventually going to fall.
Yeah.
The truth will always come out. It will always win.
Yep.
And just know that. And when you have people around you that can support you and help you. And so I say that too, then, also from the perspective of an employee, looking for an environment where people take care of each other, where the leadership does display levels of humility, and you can tell that it's about you as an employee, it's about others. That's an environment you want to be a part of. If you pick up on things that show, hey, this leadership really is only thinking about them, or you see tendencies of selfishness or backbiting or whatever it might be, take those to heart. Consider them. Doesn't mean you can't be an example and you can't influence that environment for good. But just know that it exists.
Yeah. And that it might not be worth it.
There might be a time to say, you know what, I need to leave. And that's one of the amazing things about those of us that live in these democracies that have the freedom to say, I'm going to go work somewhere else. I'm going to go find an environment that is better for me. And so, I don't know. Hopefully that general conversation on it was valuable. I don't know.
If you need more, hit us up. I don't know if we got any more.
There's lots of people talking about it. And then if you want, different dynamics or details or facts, we unfortunately can't provide that, but
don't have any.
There's other outlets that I think are trying.
Yeah.
Just listen with caution.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing situation specific to that company and the people involved. And
with broader applications.
I think we're too far removed to say specifics just yet. So.
All right.
Great.
Perfect.
How do we segue?
Well, I don't think there is any segue. I think this just... So, you had a coffee roasting class this last weekend. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, it was the basics of coffee roasting with Scott Rayo.
Coffee legend.
Like I said, it was something that was hosted by Map It Forward, which is kind of a new platform, I guess, that is being started by Lee Safar. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Safar. Safar.
Sounds good.
Safer.
Thank you, Lee.
She is also, I think, the owner and creator of Elixir, which we've tried.
We have tried. Good job, Lee.
I really liked Elixir.
It was weird. It didn't look like coffee, but it tasted like coffee.
It had an amazing taste.
Yeah.
So they kind of did this session where I think there were like 12, 15 seats available if you were in California where it was hosted at, and unlimited online. And they ended up doing a Facebook live stream. It was about 3.5 hours, and you got to sit in on his presentation. There was a little interaction. I enjoyed the way it was set up. Lee took the position of someone that was new to roasting, which admittedly she's never roasted before. So as Scott explained things, she was able to ask questions. And
from the layman's perspective.
At first, you were like, okay, this is not going to get anywhere with her asking questions. I already know some of this. And some people, just because you put it in a comment doesn't mean you have to be rude. I'm just saying that because there's some people who are just...
Have self-control.
I wanted to...
Have some self-control.
Bro, chill out. You know, people are like, oh, the video is only 360p. Why isn't it HD? Like, there's so many little complaints. Other people chimed in and said, you know what, I can see and hear... Anyway, I'm tangenting.
Yeah.
Shooting down.
Yeah.
Because it ended up, my point being, is after a little bit of time, yes, some of the questions she asked maybe weren't, maybe you knew the answer. Or
maybe
you thought,
you
okay.
Didn't.
But then sometimes she asked questions like, I've never thought about that. And that is a pretty basic question. Yeah. And somebody that's not ever roasted would only think of that type of and you were thankful she did.
Yeah.
So in the end, I think the majority were giving their support for the way it went. It was an awesome class.
Nice.
So
did you feel you got your money's worth? I think that's the first question.
I got more than my money's worth.
Yeah.
I think they can continue to improve it. This was kind of
a trial run
for my to my knowledge, the first session of this type of thing.
You're always working some kinks out
They don't even have a website, she said, for the Map It Forward.
But at least they let you join.
Absolutely.
Like they could have just done it in person and that's it.
And they could have. And there were a lot of people when we were kind of promoting it
out. Like she could have just been live tweeting, like Scott Rayo dropping truth bombs. You're missing it. You know what I mean?
They could have done that. And there were some people that thought $100, I think mostly people that didn't attend, was too much for virtual.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think because not only that, there was a dialogue. And at first, the dialogue was with the attendees. They didn't really have time to have a moderator for all the comments.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Mr. Rayo afterwards said, hey, throw your comments in the discussion thread on Facebook. I'll do my best to answer them.
To get to him. And he does.
And he has. And people are just bombarding him with profiles and questions. And should I buy this roaster? What do you think of this probe? I threw a couple out there, and he's hitting them all. I think there's a limit, obviously, and he's not going to do it indefinitely. I think they're going to close the thread down. But it's his attempt to say, I'm going to give you guys that paid $100 and were online attendees some attention.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
How much was it to attend in person?
It was the same price.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was interesting. And I would suggest that, well, I don't know. Maybe it is. I think if you offer something more in person, because I know they did some tastings just because they had a table of coffee. And when we break, they were like, here, come taste these defects. So I think there was a little more value for those people. I think I would pay more to go in person. Mm-hmm. So if anything, I think they shorted themselves a little bit by only charging the in-person $100 too.
Yeah.
That should have been maybe $150. Just an opinion. But I think it's going to be an awesome platform if they continue. I cannot wait for the next session.
Are we moving forward? Is there going to be like a basic and intermediate, or is it going to be different every time, or what's kind of
They didn't say specifically, but they did say that this is the beginning of a lot to come. Okay. So I think there's going to be ongoing beginner classes. I think there's going to be intermediate, maybe advanced classes. It sounds like there's more to come. Maybe they're going to start recording them and making the recordings available. Who knows? But I really enjoyed it. Some of the things, without...
You haven't given anything away. Are you worried about giving Scott's secrets away?
No, it's a pretty much open discussion. What he did is he kind of dived into the basics from his book.
Did he dived or did he dove?
He dived.
Huh.
He dived in.
Dived
into the material.
It's dove.
Okay, maybe.
All right.
With two E's. And just broke it down. And one of the things, I'll just give you this.
No, dived. I guess people like dived. I guess it's a word. I guess it's a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found that was very valuable is he talked about the rate of rise curve and kind of went into his theory and specifics about why he thought, and it's always having a declining rate of rise. That's just one of the Scott Rayo principles. Now, here's something that I'm going to disclose that I found interesting. I'm always trying to improve and learn. Obviously, I don't know. I'm still learning as I go. So with our Swirl offering, specifically the Guatemala, I've changed some of the roasting parameters as I go. Things change, temperatures change, pressure change, coffee ages, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get a more consistent declining rate of rise. This is going back, 6 to 8 weeks ago. Whereas I did not have at first crack, right, what they call a crash. The rate of rise, because what happens is first crack, it emits little moisture and the beans crack open. They go from endothermic to exothermic.
Perfect.
From storing energy to releasing energy.
Yeah, I tuned you out already. Sorry.
And so what happens is you basically, your temp can crash, can drop off, and then you can have what they call a flick where it goes back up. Mm-hmm. He says avoid that at all costs. At all costs. That's one of the things that he claims is indicative of you introduce possibly defects into your coffee.
Has that happened to you before?
What?
The dip.
The crash? Yeah, it's common. Crash. It's probably, I would venture to say, in my experience and from what I gather, it's probably one of the most common things roasters fight.
Is that crash.
And some say that's not a problem. There's varying opinions.
I see.
Obviously.
I gotcha.
Point being is I was able to eliminate that completely from the Swirl. I don't know how I did it. That wasn't my intention at the time. Like I said, this is going back. Mm-hmm. But I noticed an improvement in the cup. I did. hands down, I noticed, wow, this is even better. It wasn't bad before. And that's his point. He's saying you might be getting stellar coffee not using any of these principles, but I think you can make it better.
Yeah.
That's when it clicked with me. It's like, that's awesome. Let's make it better. Can I make this even better? Mm-hmm. And then hearing him talk about this and some of the things to help prevent that and combat that, and he gets into airflow, how to measure proper airflow, how to check for proper drum speed. He gets into how to, manage heat. It was really, really good. And he even said, that he doved.
Yeah, dived is fine.
Dived.
In fact, I think our listeners around the globe will appreciate dived. I think it's only, North America, the last 200 years that we've been using dove.
Dived deeper than he had expected. Mm-hmm. And I think it was great. So just having that experience and then hearing him talk about it kind of solidified it for me. It's like that in this case was true.
Yeah.
I found, and so I'm using some of the things I learned to try and create better coffee. That's the goal. Yeah. That's the goal. So hopefully with the next one, we'll let you guys know about it well in advance. Just in case anyone out there is interested, you can take advantage of it. Listen to Mr. Rayo. He's got lots of experience. It's cool hearing him talk. It really was, because sometimes you'll think, that's just his opinion. But then he'll back it up with an experience he had. And then you go try it and you're like, he's right. By golly.
By golly, he is right.
He is right. So not that he's right in everything, but in this particular case, I found a lot of value in the course.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm really excited for what's to come with this new Map It Forward, pushing coffee. I think it's cool that they started with a beginner. You know what I mean? It resonates with us.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Right?
It really
it's not
does.
like, let's just help the industry. Let's start with all the experts and those that have been here. Let's have an advanced roasting course and discuss roasting theory. And
I think he's just going to argue anyways.
Probably right. He's like, I'm going to, like we said, with the yes or no sessions, they're the next, right? They're the up and comers. They're the ones that are excited.
Yeah.
Let's tap them.
It's you.
Let's get them going.
It's you. You're the face of this industry. You are the face.
You're the one that's going to take it forward.
You are the one that is going to run your shop honorably. You know what I mean?
Honorably.
Investing in your employees, delighting your customers. You are going to do that.
Yep. And all while roasting amazing coffee.
All while roasting amazing coffee.
And putting up some awesome stats.
Not arguing with the latest pros that are running around.
So anyway, that was that. If you have any questions or want more about that,
and what about questions for Scott Rayo? We haven't gotten any in a while.
We haven't talked about it in a little bit.
We haven't pushed it. No. So if you have questions for Scott, hit us up.
Hit it.
If you have questions about Make It Forward,
map it.
Map it forward?
Map it.
What did I say?
Make it.
Make it forward? Map it forward.
Map it.
If you have questions about that, what did you want to say? Who they're supposed to email you?
Sure.
Mike at orangecactuscoffee.com.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
What's next?
What is next?
There was one other thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, there's always something you want to talk about.
I said it in the beginning.
I know. I remember, but I don't want to say it.
What was it?
Because I'm going to take it. Hey, what's up? What's up with the Prismo, buddy? Have you figured that out?
No, I don't want to talk about the Prismo. I have not.
What's going on with that?
I've not been. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't used it. I need to do better.
All right. So more to come. You need to learn. Yeah. We need to talk about it.
We do.
You need to get a little more comfortable with it.
That's what I will do. I will use the Prismo.
Okay. Just
between now and next week.
Ensure the audience that you're not going to be grinding in the dark anymore.
I can't.
Yeah, sometimes too challenging.
Sometimes I am grinding in the dark.
What?
Yeah, I can't say that I'm not going to. I will be. Well, sitting there grinding for 5 minutes while I'm making some espresso powder.
Dial it in before that. No, you had mentioned talking about mobile. You had mentioned.
Thank you. That's it right there.
Oh, there we go.
So here's the deal.
What is it?
I was reading an article on the Facebook, and it was talking about it made mention that not Whole Foods, Sprouts was going to be using Instacart.
Insta what?
Instacart.
What's that?
And I was like, so Instacart is groceries delivered from local stores. And I thought to myself, So I looked up Instacart, and Amazon Prime Now is another app that Amazon uses to deliver things. And then there's more. There's Uber Eats, there's Postmates, and there is DoorDash. All of these things. And I was like, I gotta get on this. Uber Eats, you log in with Uber. I did not. Okay, we're going to talk about that nastiness too. Amazon Prime Now is so great. I put in my zip code. Look at this. This is the future. I'm telling you.
Isn't you have to pay more for now?
We do not yet deliver to 86314.
Oh, is that like the hour delivery?
Sign in 2 hours, yes. And we'll notify you when we're in your area. So great. Listen, you can be on the cusp. You can be Mike and Jake mining Bitcoin in 2013 and be ahead of the game and then, not mess things up. You know what I mean? Location not available. Where are these locations? San Fran, LA, New York, Chicago, Miami, Washington, Orange County, Phoenix, San Diego, Seattle, Atlanta, Las Vegas, blah, 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 blah. All these larger metropolitan areas. Here's the deal. You can partner with these. Like DoorDash is one of them. You can be a dasher where you deliver, or you can be a store. You can be... couldn't load nearby stores. There is nothing out here that is taking advantage of this. Nobody. Now, the skeptic, like Mr. MJ Kincaid here, would say, well, then what good is it? Well, that doesn't help.
I'm waiting for the tagline.
Until you launch your own app, you can use these other existing platforms to get your coffee out there. Alexa, order me a mocha from Prime Now. That's
how it works.
You build your Alexa skill. You can get it delivered like right now, or you can set up a 2-hour delivery window through Amazon Prime Now. I want to know, those of you out here, what's been your feedback? What are you doing? Like Prime Now, they changed their delivery model. I read, just go to the App Store, start reading people's feedback. Do you want to know what people care about delivery? Who's using delivery? Who is going to be your customer to get your coffee? Do you have an Amazon Dash button? If you do, the Be More can automatically order it when it's empty. I'm just saying, are you even thinking about getting your coffee out there? We're thinking about it. We're working on it. We're going to document that. I'm saying this, Michael. The future of coffee is mobile, not retail spaces. You need one because of, laws, whatever those are, the 3 sinks. And I talked about the 3 sink method exclusively on the Daily Ristretto that you don't listen to.
30 plus minutes. I picked the wrong one to tune in on.
What I'm saying is this. Those of you who want to roast your own coffee, or you want to get coffee delivered better, faster, easier, This is where the market is going. Let's get ahead of it.
So,
like we were ahead of the BTC mining, let's get ahead of it.
Okay.
And we are going to get ahead of it. And we're going to document how, why, when,
how
where.
it goes. Yeah, that's a great idea. I just want to clarify. Are you saying you could be, for us, what that would look like is, hey, we're going to sell our coffee. Yes. We got our coffee. So we go on Amazon and we become a retailer in their marketplace.
Yes.
And when that service then is available in this area, that means we can use their platform. Someone within our area can be hooked up to the Amazon Now Prime or Prime Now.
Prime Now. It's a free app. And it's an additional app, though.
It's an additional app?
It's an additional app. It's not in your regular Amazon app. That's why I never heard of it before. It's a different app. Now I have 3 Amazon apps. I have Amazon, I have Amazon Prime Video, and I have Amazon Prime Now.
Okay. So the Now, you'd go on the Now app then if you're a consumer and say, hey, I like the local stuff or I need something now. And obviously it has to be within your immediate area if you want it within a couple hours.
Yes.
So which is kind of cool because if you think about it, because that's been the battle is everything's going, there's no more local need. Because you could just order it. Just go to Amazon and order it. And it would ship from some warehouse, some central location, right?
I got everything in one day. I ordered yesterday. It came up from Phoenix. I had ordered it 2 days ago. I got it the next day. It was great.
But the only way they can do that logistically is by having it already within your vicinity to some extent. So it'll be limited, but it's the beginning.
That's it. And here's the thing. Did I talk about this last week or I talked about the FedEx people?
FedEx people.
So I'm working as a checkout girl. FedEx guy comes through, and I say, "Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?"
He's probably like,
I've got some coffee. No, I didn't say that. Oh. And he says that he looks me dead in the eyeballs, and he says, "It is not slowed down since Christmas." And then we have a Sam's Club closing here locally. Sam's Club is closing.
Wait, what?
Sam's Club is closing this month. Retail locations are closing. Delivery is going
Our Sam's Club?
Up in Prescott Valley.
No, it's not.
January 26th.
Was that in the newspaper?
That's anyways.
Or was it Facebook?
We're not going to argue about this now.
That's Sam.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
Delivery is going up. So you're saying, well, I've got this retail spot and nobody wants to buy my stuff. It's because nobody's coming. You don't have their attention. They're not coming into your store. Go to where their attention is and provide a way to get to them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying
that's the
you're
future.
Seeing a shift.
Yes, there is a shift. But somebody is going to be doing that job. You see the FedEx driver, he says, we're busy, we're slammed. UPS comes through a couple customers later. And I say, hey, are you guys busy? He's like, no, we've slowed down. That's fine. But here's the future. Delivery is the future. Is it delivery or is it DiGiorno?
Oh, well, if it's delivery, okay. I'm going to say this.
Drones are coming, but they're a long ways off.
There has to be innovation in order to handle this demand. And here's what happened to me.
Yes.
You recently entrusted me to take a couple coffee packages to the post office.
Oh, no. You failed the drop-off?
No. Listen, and Manny, we love you.
Oh.
But and it's this particular location, I believe. Every time I go there, I am frustrated by its inefficiencies. Nothing to do with the people, just the makeup of how they do business. And it's nothing new for the USPS. I think they've tried to improve, and we've seen improvements.
Yeah.
But I went there. It was noon or 12. No, it was 1. A little after 1. Whenever we left, a little after 1.
Yeah.
I go and I just want to throw these 2 packages in the drop, and I go down. I go in the building. There's no drop. I'm like, oh, I got to go in the office.
Which one did you go to?
Downtown. Let me tell the story.
The one that's across.
The one that's downtown from the square.
Oh, that one doesn't have a drop in it. We've been there. We tried to do that once already.
I know, but okay.
Remember the day it was flooding?
It was flooding. Yeah.
And then we had to drive to the other
Now
one.
I remember.
Now you remember. Okay,
well,
perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, I didn't remember at the time. I go in. I think, well, where's the drop? I don't see a drop. I'm like, well, I'll go to the counter, right? Just give it to the counter.
Yeah.
I look, and I realized there is a line of people
There's
out the
always
door.
a line. There's always a line.
There is always a line. But today there was a line because the doors were closed. And it said, we will be back in an hour.
That one's notorious.
They closed.
Yeah.
In the middle we're shutting up. Yeah.
Yep. I got something. I got to go potty. Yeah. I'm just closing up and I'm going.
I'm like, are you kidding me? They just shut the doors and say, hey, we'll be back. Okay. Well, whatever. So I'll go out. I ended up finding the outside, right outside. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But I had to walk around. And I felt like an idiot. Because I'm an idiot.
You probably look like an idiot.
I found a Dropbox that its next call was 2:00.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's in 30 minutes. Perfect. So I threw them in there.
Did they fit?
Yeah, they fit.
You didn't smash them flat?
Well, I only took a little. No, I didn't smash them. They fit right in. So there was a good Dropbox. There was a solution all along. My point being is I just found it crazy that something as central and as busy as the USPS would close midday.
Yeah, they were closed last time we showed up.
Working in a retail establishment, working in a bank where we have tellers,
it's different.
We wouldn't shut down during lunches. We would schedule and I just
make sure that it's open.
Now the other one, I don't know if the other main office, if you will, does that.
It doesn't.
But why?
This one is unique.
It is unique.
I can't answer the why.
Maybe I just need to stop going to the unique one.
Quit going to the unique one.
But why do they have unique ones?
The reason why you want to go to the unique one is to take pictures.
Yeah, because it's cool.
Because it's cool.
It's a cool building.
It's a cool building. Yeah. And they've got the old school post office boxes there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But can you continue to improve as a business if you're going to say, well, we'll keep, it's like if we as a bank.
It's not a business, it's a government.
We're going to take, a handful of them. Well, it is. But
that's why I don't need to focus on improvement.
For a business aspect, though, it's no secret that they've been in trouble over the years.
Yeah.
And so I think, who was it? Somebody said, the day that Amazon takes over the USPS will be a happy day.
Yeah. Well, I like the USPS, and really the solution for us is to And we've talked about this before, and maybe we should transition from mobile.
What do you like about them?
Well, this is...
No, fair question. I'm just saying you deal with them more.
Yeah.
That's just me going to one location.
I like the drop-off.
Okay.
I like that they will swing by and pick up.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like the time of day that they deliver, and I like the cost that they charge.
Yeah.
In 2 days, I can get my coffee from here to New York in 2 to 3 days for $7. I mean, we charge $6 flat. We always pay a little bit of it.
Yeah.
We always pay a portion of the cost of shipping. But I can get it to anywhere in the United States, and it will show up during the day. You know what I mean? Not 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It shows up during the day.
So you find there are efficiencies that are nice. Yeah. And I would agree with you. And even then, right, and you see other carriers rely on them.
Some carriers will not deliver.
Well, they'll kick it to them for the final delivery, too.
And some of them won't go like to rural places.
That's true.
They don't go. The USPS goes everywhere. There's nowhere they don't deliver.
Yeah.
Now, apartments can sometimes be challenging, but that's with no matter which carrier you use. But some rural places, FedEx won't go.
Yeah.
UPS won't go. The post office goes. And they've been going there since time before.
Yeah.
Since before time. They've been driving out there, that little, that place down there in Oklahoma. Anyways.
No, that's good.
They go.
Very good points.
So that's why I use USPS.
That's why we'll probably continue to use them, because it's the best option.
I think they're the best option right now. Yeah. Now, is it going to change in the future? Maybe.
Well, can they handle, my point with all of that.
Can they handle all the coffee we're selling?
No.
I don't know, Mike.
If there's a shift, and it's going to be direct to consumer, more mailing.
Yes.
Is that, you got Amazon working on the back end, but they're not controlling. They don't own the distribution process. They don't own the trucks.
But they have a tremendous influence on them.
Well, they sure do.
Because they said, hey, because FedEx didn't want to do Saturday or Sunday deliveries, and FedEx and Amazon.
Well, that was USPS. They said we're closing for the weekend.
And Amazon says,
wait a minute. That's back when
we need it every day.
When Netflix actually sent DVDs.
Oh,
remember that? And
you can still do that.
You can, but they're like, oh, you're not going to be able to get your DVDs on Saturday now. Because they were going to stop.
Yeah,
they were going to stop doing that.
So, my problem at the moment is this. This is what I want to do. I want to get a small business loan, get a retail location, get a mobile truck, and go right now.
And deliver your own?
I want to do that right now. I don't have the time or the money. At that same time, there's that portion pulling me, and I don't have enough time for all the things that are on my plate right now.
Yeah.
In fact, we were just talking about we've had so many coffee orders that we are struggling to roast on demand and deliver like right away. Like we'd get a couple orders here and there. Mm-hmm. Now the frequency with which we're getting orders makes it so like, well, we have to meet every day.
Got to adjust.
And it's like,
I don't want to see you every day.
Since you moved away from me.
I went back home.
It takes a long time to get to you. It's an hour round trip. It's an hour and a half.
Says the man from LA.
To go drive to your house, pick the coffee
I don't know which
up,
way you go. It's
and
like
then drive
22
back,
minutes.
And then drop the coffee off.
Yeah. It's longer.
This
is not efficient to do that daily.
And we're talking about doing it, every day. And I pressure Mikey. We'll get like an order in at, 10 o'clock at night, and I'll shoot him a text, be like, hey, are you roasting this?
Yes.
Not right this second, but yeah. And so most successful roasteries, like Blue Bottle and others, they have a twice a week schedule.
Designated roasting days.
Like Mondays and Thursdays. And so if you order on Tuesday, within 2 days, it's going out.
Yeah.
If you order on Wednesday, it's going out the next day. If you order on Thursday, you can probably get it out that day.
Yeah.
If you order on Friday, it's going to go out on Monday, Saturday, Monday, Sunday, Monday. So we're thinking about adopting that kind of schedule to make it a little easier to satisfy the demand. Because right now, and it's just with the ILEO, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but you don't roast 1 pound anymore. Like with the Be More, we would roast, like we get a 12-ounce bag order. I don't remember what the amount of green bean that goes in there, the weight, but we roast 1 order with a little bit left over.
Because that's all we could do.
With the ILEO, you get 1 order, you normally roast 2.
Yeah, 2 bags, 2 12-ounce bags per roast.
Per roast.
Is what I do. And I changed that to be consistent. Instead of trying to adjust a profile for one 12-ounce bag.
Yeah.
Because it changes. It changes all your settings.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that. And, that's the
we want to
advice
be more consistent. Yeah.
of almost all the advice-giving roasters out there.
Now, for the most part, all the bags we roast, we've found a way to sell.
Or drink.
We've sold a lot. I mean, we've sold a lot of coffee, so thank you for that.
It's been nice. I'll roast a double, and you'll be like, hey, I need another one. I'm like, oh, well, good, because I happen to have one right here.
Perfect, yeah.
And so that would be ideal is if, we have a roasting session, I got X amount, and then we sell those because we got a consistent, sales.
So maybe roasting Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
But I think this is the question
Monday,
I have, if anyone would like to give us feedback.
Yeah.
What do you think is acceptable? I think we want to continue to deliver like, wow, that's awesome. I mean, I saw an Instagram post the other day from someone we follow that said, Onyx, killing it. Shipped my order within 1 hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and Peixoto's done that out of Phoenix with me.
Yeah.
I've ordered it, and it's like, your coffee shipped. I'm like, that's sweet.
But when did they roast it?
It could have just been coincidence.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we're just doing, if you get your order in today by 10, it's going to go out today.
Most people say, let it rest, right? Day 5 to 7 is the sweet spot.
It's funny you mentioned that. Was a recent Cat and Cloud episode.
We drink same day.
Drink it all the time.
We don't subscribe to you've got to let it sit for 5 days.
We don't.
Now, we don't think there's a problem with it.
No.
But we roast and drink same day.
I think it's nice to give the customer the opportunity or the chance to do whatever they would like.
Yeah.
And if you don't deliver it soon enough, then they never get to experience that. If you say, hey, no, it's not any good the first week, so we're not going to even worry about getting it to you.
Yeah.
Right? Diving in to you.
Dived in.
Dove.
Divid.
Then they never know.
We get it to you as quickly as we can.
But what's reasonable? Is it reasonable to get an order and say, hey, thanks for your order. We'll get it out to you within 48 hours. Would you think, okay, that makes sense? Or we roast every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday?
Or Monday and Thursday.
When I've ordered previously, I thought, okay, so they'll probably ship it out, on Saturday after they roast or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, as long as you're shipping the day you roast, that's key. Mm-hmm. Sitting on it needlessly, like if we roasted Saturday night and sat on it all day Sunday and they got it out to you Monday evening, I don't feel comfortable with that. I'd rather roast it Monday and ship it Monday.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you roast a batch on Saturday, is it bad to wait till Monday to ship it or orders that come in?
No, I think that's still acceptable, especially if you're doing the 2-day priority. You're still getting it.
Well, it's between 1 and 3 days.
1 and 3?
Yeah, depending on where.
So it's a day difference.
How far away you are from Phoenix.
It's a Sunday difference.
Yeah.
Right? That's the from the roast date.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it matter to you guys?
And typically, when orders come in over the weekend, you'll roast them Sunday night. We ship them Monday morning.
Yeah. And I think that, to me, makes sense. If they're shipped out the day after roasting, you have a production day for roasting and then a shipping day.
Yeah.
So I think trying to deliver a wow and provide a consistent product, but also be efficient and prepare for more sales.
Sustainable.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
that
Scalable.
you can do. Scalable, sustainable, wowable.
Wowable. That's a great word, Jake.
Thank you. Also...
Yeah, what is this?
Next,
I sent you something.
Last thing. Oh, yeah, that thing. So there's 2 more things that we got.
Well, you better hurry up.
I have a little surprise for the end. Okay, so Mike sends me this message in Messenger that links to the Instagram in Instagrammer.
Always confuses him. He's like, what is it?
Oh, or where was it? Or was it a text massage?
It was a mess. See what I mean? He's confused.
I can't remember.
He doesn't know.
So he sends me this, and it is basically a cup. Someone say,
Good.
oh, yeah, it was Instagram. So they take a paper cup and they dip it in, is that peanut butter? Caramel. They dip it in caramel, and then they dip it in, is that graham cracker crust or is that nuts?
It doesn't say.
So it's something.
Nuts or graham crackers.
You know what I'm talking about.
Maybe a mix of both.
You can see it in your mind's eye. It's being dipped in caramel, and then it is being topped with some sort of topping, whether it's nuts or graham cracker. And then they are putting a latte in there, and that's how they are serving it up inside this paper cup.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings about it. The reason why is this. If that is a to-go cup that you cannot put a lid on anymore. So are you having that for here?
What's about the cups with you?
It's
sustainable. There's no plastic lid.
It's the plastic liner inside the paper cup that makes it not recyclable.
Stop giving lids.
It's the cup itself that's the problem.
Oh.
And here's the thing. When I go to take a bite out of this,
why would you bite it?
I can't bite the cup.
It's the same idea as putting salt on what is it?
I don't have to chew the salt on a margarita. When I take a sip, it all comes down and the salt dissolves and I'm good to go.
I think that's the same idea.
This is not dissolving. The caramel and the
the hot coffee,
the little bacon bits or whatever's on there.
Ooh, that's
not dissolving. You have to chew that.
I don't know.
You got to chew that.
You ain't got to chew it.
And so now, if you were doing this into a waffle cup, to me, that's much better.
Okay. That takes it next level.
Like if you want to do this, dip in caramel, top it with graham cracker crust, and then you want to give it to me, I'm not nibbling it off a paper cup. That's gross.
I'll lick it.
That's gross.
Okay.
You need to get it to me in a waffle cup.
Says the man that licks the wine bottle.
Something that's not stale. Like when we went down to Firehouse and I had that waffle shot, the waffles were stale. That was the problem there.
So do you want stale waffles or do you want to have to lick the rim of the cup?
Neither. I don't want either of them. In fact, I would rather, because it's going to, right? When I'm, I would rather.
Sir, you're not supposed to bite the
lick
cup.
Caramel off of a porcelain mug. This is for here. Put it in porcelain. Put it in porcelain or put it in glass. It's going to be easier. It's not going to have it's like trying to eat paper. It's nasty. Stuff. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So,
I don't know.
The latte art was great. I'm still working. Okay, so the reason why we haven't done, there's a couple of videos we need to do. 1, the Breville. 2, the Prismo. 3, we need to do Japanese iced coffee into the Chemex again.
Yes. I need it.
For the homies.
Yeah.
So
cold brew.
The problem is my latte art is non-existent with the Breville. That's why I don't want to film a video.
You've been working on it?
I have you cannot call what I've been doing working on it. It's bad. And every time I go to watch the people that know well, they're using their hand to gauge the temperature.
Yeah.
They don't use a thermometer.
Yeah. Some do.
Scott says use the thermometer.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing a good job.
Well, I think different people have different thresholds for heat, for pain. Wow, that's hot. Well, it's at 85 degrees. So I don't know what your problem is, but take it hotter.
So anyways, there's that.
So you're not good at it yet.
I'm not good at it, but we'll still film.
Are you aspiring to be?
Trying. I'm thinking about just taking the IBCA course. It's expensive. What do you spend money on?
And learn how to pour milk.
Boxes or, to me, it's like, it's not that important yet. Because if we don't have a shop, then I don't have to.
Yeah. It's more just to say, hey, can the Breville do it? Right,
because we want to can do it.
We want to review the Breville.
It's the idiot running the Breville that can't do it.
Well, we'll just say that in the video. Here's some links to people that properly wield this wand.
Okay,
I am not one of them.
The last thing, and then we're gonna go. I ordered some little pins from Sicker Mule. They're over there in the box.
They're always over there.
Anyways, I gave my daughter one because she puts pins on her backpack, and the rest I'm gonna put into the next bags of coffee, next coffee sales. And I wasn't going to bring it up. I was just going to throw it out there. But now I'm going to throw it out there for you. I'm letting you know that these are going to go in. I'm going to give Mikey one. Mike, do you want one or no?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Mikey is going to get one. And then I've got the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next 10 are going to get, the next 10 coffee orders are getting little pins in there.
Little pins.
1, 2, they're so cute.
Little branding pins.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Put them on
8.
your shirt. Put them on your hat.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so the next 12 coffee orders.
Okay, good. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Are going to get little pins, little orange cactus coffee pins.
You use them as self-defense weapon. Probably hold it in your hand.
Yep, you can absolutely poke somebody with it. So
anyway,
that's good to go. That's all I got. All
right. Well, speaking of shout-outs, hey, nice shirt, by the way.
Ooh, Jeff from Salt Riot in the house, on the scene, on the set. I think these are nice shirts. Yeah. Nice shirts.
Is it soft, comfy?
It's soft. It's
that looks like the Black Heather.
It's a tri-blend Bella canvas, and it was delivered by Printful. And I'm thinking I just need to pull I've been been
You got the
stalling again. I've got several designs.
You want to just order 1,000 one-offs?
Yes.
And package them up and do the
Do you have to put my heart out there in front of everyone?
You do it every day on the DR.
I promised that I would do it, though, and we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
And so here's the thing. I don't know if I mentioned it, but
you did.
The problem was I called Printful to see if we can do shirts because we do the coffee. We'd let Printful do the shirts. Can we charge, how do we charge for shipping there? If it's coming from 2 different places, will you charge for shipping once and then you eat the other shipping cost? Is what it has to be.
It'd almost be like they would charge us. We collect, they charge us.
We would have to pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
For shirts.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we charge for it.
Yes, but if I'm shipping.
Then we're charged for it.
If I'm shipping coffee and it costs $7 and I charge $6 for shipping, we pay $1 for the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
If they order coffee and a shirt.
In the same order,
we charge $6 for shipping. We're already eating $1 for the cost of shipping the coffee. Now, who's going to pay for the shipping of the shirt from the other location? We are. We're not going to double charge them. You can't double charge a customer for shipping.
Well, shipping varies by weight. When you order more items, even with Amazon, if you order heavier things, if it's not Prime, if it's not free.
See, I only order Prime. I never pay for shipping.
Well, that's good for you.
Yeah.
But other companies, sometimes it's more. It's more for weight or distance.
Correct. But then once you get over $50, all your shipping is free.
Okay, we could do the same.
I think we just keep everything at $6.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. There's a way that you
can do
both.
Shipping for the shirt's going to be $5.
It shouldn't be. For one shirt, it should be
rounding up.
It should be between $2 and $3 because they send it in a Tyvek bag.
A Tyvek mailer?
Tyvek mailer.
Oh, that's nice. You like those.
I hate those. But I'm willing to swallow my pride and let people buy the shirts if they want the shirt.
So here's the thing. If we don't charge for shipping on the shirt, you could either just say, hey, we'll eat it, or you can roll it into the price of the shirt.
Correct.
And say it includes shipping.
Yeah.
So they're still paying for it. It's just logistically.
Well, customers are paying for everything.
Exactly.
But how are we going to do it logistically? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, you just say shipping included. And we're not saying free because it ain't free. We've talked about this.
Nothing is free.
Everything is free.
Nothing is free.
If you have enough money.
Yeah. So any case. Okay. So that's what we'll do.
Oh, good. Got it?
Got it.
It's coming. 2018. It's the year of the shirt.
It's the year of the zero profit shirt.
It's the year of the tiger.
Oh,
and
no, it's not. It's not the year of the tiger.
We got the pins.
Oh, what is 2018?
There's a play, The Eye of the Tiger. Year of the Tiger.
Yeah, but...
Thanks for being with me on that. I think we need to sign off before this takes a
it's
dove.
The year of the dog.
Ooh.
2018 is the year of the dog.
Takes a dove.
All right.
We're doving out of control right now. Until next time, please let us know. Feedback. We appreciate it. We welcome conversations. Until then, what are you doing?
Waiting for you to stop talking.
Oh, I was saying bye. You're not going to say bye? You just walk out of the room? You're one of those people?
Thank you for listening. I always say goodbye because I'm going to have a little thing at the end. You wanted to sign us off.
You make it nice and fancy and put music and say thank you so much for listening. Episode show notes are at Orange Cactus Coffee /
I do that.
Episode
and
101.
You are the one 50 episodes ago that said, I want to do the sign off. And I said, fine,
and
have the sign off.
I did it.
And then you had an inappropriate sign off slogan.
No, I didn't.
That we retired.
I did.
Yeah, I don't like the word screw. It's I hope we don't screw this one up.
Oh.
That's just.
Yeah.
It kind of killed the vibe.
Yeah. Mess it up.
Yeah. Well, so come up with something positive. Leave them with something great.
All right. And next time, leave you with something great. You don't know unless you try.
Thanks, Mike, and thank you for tuning in to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. This was episode 101, and as always, you can find the show notes at orangecactuscoffee.com /episode 101. We'll catch you next time.